Imagine for a second that you had a remote control you could use to control every single moment of your life. A remote that allows you to skip, pause, or even relive your experiences.
That's me in the jet shirt!
Well, what would you do with it? Learn to appreciate life. 5 lessons about gratitude I learned from Click the Movie.
A lot to ask. I got ghost stories, charades, the dishes.
I skipped the whole fight.
Hello, heroes, and welcome back to Hero's Shadow, where we take a deep dive into your favorite heroes' minds. If it's your first time here, fasten your seatbelts, because today's journey is sure to be a bumpy one. We've all had bad days when we simply want to take a break from life and just zone out. On the other hand, we've also had days so amazing that we just want to stay in that moment forever. Like every other person, Micheal, the protagonist of the movie Click, also had his fair share of high days as well as his low days. However, like we tend to do sometimes, Micheal allowed himself to get so absorbed in how life had mistreated him during those bad days, so much so that he failed to appreciate the amazing life he had. Micheal was an amazing architect, with a wife who even the angel of death had a crush on.
Tight, rockin' body.
You okay?
I mean, he never failed to remind Micheal of it, each time they met. 2 children and a great career. However, like many people often do, Micheal allowed himself to get so obsessed with what he didn't have instead of appreciating what he had. To make sure he makes more and has a better life, Micheal devoted his time fully to his job. By doing so, however, his relationship with his family suffered. He canceled family plans, almost missed his son's swimming contest.
You just got here, Dad. I saw you.
And basically spent a whole night on the phone with his boss on the same night that his family was celebrating. What, however, made his life even more frustrating was the fact that he just couldn't seem to get the right remote for basic things, like turning on the TV and stuff. Based on everything going on in Mike's life, it was already obvious that it would take some divine intervention to turn his life around. And just as you guessed, he got what he felt he wanted, but just like Prince Naveen in the popular children's animation, The Princess and the Frog, Micheal totally lost what he had. His lack of gratitude made him obsessed. Number 1, no one's life is perfect, even if it may seem that way. Micheal's problem started the moment he began comparing his life to that of others. His boss, for instance, seemed to have it all, while he, who had always worked himself off and sacrificed a lot for the company, was still a bottom feeder. It wasn't helpful that his boss kept on exploiting his skills and always set standards that seemed unattainable for him to achieve. In his marriage, his wife always complained about how he frequently canceled plans and events because of work, but no matter how much Micheal tried to explain that the reason he overworked himself was for them to have a better life, she just couldn't get it. Deep down, he simply wished he could skip past all those arguments. His relationship with his children was also far from perfect. One thing he, however, failed to realize was that his life was no different from that of others. Sure, his boss was financially stable, but Mike had something it took his boss 10 more years to get: love. Number 2, happiness isn't a product of the future, but what you make of your present. The biggest mistake a person could ever make is to place a condition for their happiness. Sure, I'll be happy when I get that promotion. Okay, when I ace that test, I'll be fulfilled. When she says yes, I'll be the happiest man alive. What stops you from being happy now? What stops you from being fulfilled at this present moment? Micheal repeatedly made this singular mistake. First, he felt that he'd be happy if only he became a partner. When he thought he had achieved this, he was so happy that he bought his wife a gift and his children 2 beautiful bicycles. However, because this happiness was conditioned, he soon fell into self-pity when he realized he was wrong. He went as far as yelling at his children and brutally criticizing the little architectural plans they had made for him. Even when he fast-forwarded his life to the time when he eventually became a partner, 1 year later, he realized that he had missed out on a lot of things. His life became even worse when he realized that the remote had gotten a mind of its own and was skipping to the good parts of his life while disallowing him from actually experiencing the years in between. Number 3, you can never relive your present moments. Time is only a thing, but how you allow this truth to influence you depends on you. Micheal felt that his present couldn't be as good as his future, and this thought led to the mistakes he made. He never appreciated what he had. Even though Micheal had a remote that could take him back in time via his memories, in those moments, he was only an onlooker in his life. He couldn't influence those moments and was therefore doomed to simply watch and regret at the mistakes he made. And being that he skipped as much as 10 years, you can imagine the number of mistakes he made. I mean, at some point, he woke up as a big fat man. At another time, he was about to give a speech for a wedding he knew nothing about.
Show your face.
Hi, Dad.
Ben.
Number 4, your true self isn't defined by circumstances. Another lesson Micheal's life teaches in this classic movie is that one should never allow themselves to be defined by past circumstances. It is true that when one door closes, another opens. However, when we become so obsessed with the door that closes, we may lose sight of the one that is opened. This means that for one to progress, one has to be grateful. The next lesson shows that there's actually even more to be grateful for than we allow ourselves to realize. Number 5, all you have is within you. You just have to look. Finally, in order to fully appreciate life, you have to start first by acknowledging all you have. You have to realize who you are. We all have something to be grateful for, and unless you find that thing, you'll not appreciate how amazing your life is. For Micheal, that special thing he had always been the gift of love. Even though he clearly showed that he didn't merit their love, his family never stopped loving him. In one of his autopilot modes where he was basically a human zombie, his dad came to pay him a visit at his office. But Micheal, who was obviously not himself, went as far as yelling at his dad. However, although the old man was in pain, he still loved his son. This scene is just one of the many times Micheal's family turned a blind eye to his flaws. His wife, daughter, and son all had moments when they showed that blood is indeed thicker than water. Micheal, however, finally realized this on his deathbed. This realization struck him so much that when he noticed his son attempting to follow the same path he did, he risked dying just to tell the young lad that family came first. For you, that special thing might also be love, or even a special talent you so much underestimate. Learn to identify those things in you and appreciate them. You'll be shocked at the number of people that want to be you. When Micheal finally identified those blessings that he had had the whole time, he realized that he never needed the remote again and got rid of it the second time he got it. This time, however, it was a gift. So, what are the lessons we can derive from the movie Click? Well, first off, to live a life of gratitude. Understand that no one's life is perfect. Everyone's life is flawed in some way. What matters isn't those flaws, but how we see them. Secondly, always bear in mind that you don't have to wait till tomorrow to be happy. Happiness is free, and as such shouldn't come with a price. Allow yourself to feel it. Thirdly, the best time to enjoy these moments is now, not at some point in the future. Live your life as it comes and never look back. Don't allow yourself to be defined by your circumstances. Yes, your past experiences should play a role in your decisions, but they don't define you. You define yourself. And when you have done all these things, never cease to appreciate yourself for who you are.